My name is Jeff DeYoung, and I teach at Buchanan Elementary School here in Grand Rapids with Grand Rapids Public Schools. I've been doing this for 11 years now. We have a rather high population of Hispanics at our school and probably a fairly high percentage of undocumented parents, okay? And I've had different experiences that just come up during the school year, either through visiting homes or just talking with parents in the hallways, but even with my students. And I'm going to start with something that occurred with my students this year. One day I had with me a copy of a local Hispanic newspaper which had a picture of an immigration officer on it visiting a home, okay? And I wasn't aware what kind of effect this would have on the students to show that to them, but I took that paper and turned it around so everybody could see what was on the cover, and it was amazing. All of a sudden there was quiet, and not just quiet, but also the kids were sucking in their breath. Mm-hmm. And so I had a little talk with the kids about why did they react that way. And the children just expressed their fear. They made it clear that their parents instruct them not to answer the door if they see someone dressed like that at their doorstep. And they live with the fear that I'm sure they learned from their parents, that at any time things could go in a bad way for them, okay? So I'm concerned about young children that we are serving here in our community, growing up with a sense of fear and avoidance of officials, maybe of any kind, okay? I also think that the fact that their parents and families live this way gives them a strong feeling of insecurity. I don't think it's fomenting in them respect for their local community or society. I think it's detrimental. So that's one thing that I've experienced, yeah. I think it's hard to measure what kind of effect this has on students' learning, okay? I just know that for children, the more secure you feel in where you're at and how your family is faring and things like that, the better they're going to perform at school, the more they're going to be able to concentrate and simply do well, okay? I have observed, I know of families that have left our state, not that that's resolving the issue, but because we've made it more difficult here, particularly because of our policy on driver's license now for people without papers, they are relocating to other states. And this again is, anytime you take a family, you take students and move them from one place to another. Take them, uproot them from somewhere where perhaps people know them well, we've learned how to work with them, they're doing well, and then their family is pulled from that situation because of issues like this. It's negative, detrimental. I think that anything that we can do to responsibly take families into our communities and make their life here more amenable to growth, okay, to planting themselves more firmly. I think overall you're going to see communities that are going to flourish more. You know, I just talked with a father and mother with a former student of mine right in front of our school a week ago. I have been the teacher of their 3 daughters. The daughter that was there with them had been my student 7 or 8 years ago. They've been here now as a family for a good 10 years. And through the conversation, one of the things that came up was the fact that the mother can no longer drive. The father has 1 year left on his policy, on his driver's license. And then he just threw his hands up and asked me, what do we do when I no longer have a legal driver's license, you know? These are three beautiful young women who have grown up in our society. They're good students. Their family is in good standing in the community in many ways, but yet they live with that insecurity of what's for us in the future here, okay? There's no stability, and I think that is eroding the possibility of these people building a good life here. Another aspect of this, I asked the father, so where do you live? And he explained where. They're renting. I asked him how much they're paying. He told me how much, and I said, do you understand you could be paying on a house with the rent that you're paying and whatnot? He said, well, of course, but what am I supposed to do? I don't have legal documents. So again, it works against, I think, any community such as the one I teach in at Buchanan Elementary. If we could have more home owners rather than renters, we're going to see neighborhoods improve. Okay, I think you might see over the long haul less youth striking out against what they've grown up with. Okay, I just think overall it would be a way in which we could provide for communities that are more firmly planted where they are and more interested in seeing progress rather than lashing out. I want to tell you about a visit I made at the home of one of my students this year. I made it a policy of mine to visit every home at least once. And entering the home, I was ushered upstairs to a bedroom, and that's where we met. The father and the mother sitting on the bed, the daughter sitting on a chair next to me. And we just talked about how her daughter was progressing in school. And right away, the father brought up the fact that they don't feel welcome here. In fact, he used very strong terms. He said, for U.S. society, no somos nada, no somos nadie, no somos gente. We're nobodies. We're hardly classified as people. And he was saying this right in front of his, at that time, 7-year-old daughter. Now, he made it very clear, we're here to provide in the best way we can for our daughter. We want our daughter to do well. We want our daughter to progress. So I just think we should keep this in mind, that policies that we have are having great effects on young children as they grow up in our society.